Gary Vee is wrong. He's just flat out wrong when it comes to B2B sales. I'm going to share why, and I'm going to share what you should do instead of listening to Gary Vee on this point, on this episode of The Inside BS Show. Hi, my name is Dave Lorenzo. This is the show that takes you inside business sales. Today we're talking about how Gary Vee is completely wrong. Now look, I love Gary Vaynerchuk. He started his career taking his father's wine store, basically a wine shop in Jersey, and growing it to a multi-million-dollar empire. And now he runs a multi-million-dollar advertising and social media agency. He's an investor in tech startups. Gary has real genius. But on this one point, when we talk about B2B sales, Gary Vee is absolutely wrong. His approach is awful. Let me share with you what I think he's doing wrong, and let me share the reason why. You see, in B2B sales, it's not all about hustle. When it comes to hustle and it comes to grind and it comes to 15, 18-hour days, sure, you can put in that kind of time. But the wham, bam, thank you, ma'am transactional approach is not the way to go. Listen, I was there. I'm bought into Gary Vee's hustle if you're selling chocolate bars door to door, or you're selling vacuum cleaners, or you're doing house parties to sell Tupperware or Avon. Yeah, you gotta hustle. And somebody wants to buy $50 worth of Tupperware, but they forget to write you the check. Yeah, you follow up and you dog them and you chase them down and you make 25, 30 calls. In fact, here, let me tell you a story. In my office working, the phone rings. I don't recognize the number, but I pick it up because you never know who's on the other end of the line. Could be a client. I answer the phone and it's a stockbroker and he's pitching me, and he's pitching me hard, and he's pitching me about this great idea he has, and it's immediately gonna help me really blow away my retirement goals. And if I just invest $10,000 with him today, he'll realize this $10,000 will turn it into $100,000 by the end of the year, and my portfolio is gonna absolutely explode. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how long do you want to work with me? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, well, do you want to work with me to put both my kids through college? And now he's getting excited, you can tell. And he says, yeah. And I said, okay, do you want to work with me to fund my retirement? I have plans to retire over in Europe. I'm going to buy a house in Italy and I'm going to live like a king over there because it's less expensive to live there than in the United States. He's like, oh, that sounds great, Dave. I said, okay, tell me what I should do right now to prepare for that if it's going to be 25 years down the road. And he says, he doesn't know what to say. His focus, his sole focus was on closing that deal. His sole focus was on the transaction and not the relationship. Gary Vee is out there telling you to post 60 pieces of content every day. He's telling you, shoot a video, chop it up into 20 pieces, and there's 20 pieces of content. Take a picture and put it on Instagram, and then you can put it on Facebook, and you can use it as your cover for all the things you do during the course of that day. Put it up on LinkedIn, a picture of you speaking to an audience, and write an article about it. And this approach of 50 pieces of content is great if you're trying to close 50 individual transactions with people who are gonna look at that picture and invest $100. You're in B2B sales. Your client lifetime value is too big for someone to go, oh, I liked his picture on Instagram, let me invest $1 million in his software. They're not gonna do that. That's not the way it works. They're not even gonna look at your picture on Instagram and go, oh, I've seen the 30 pieces of content he put up on Facebook. Let me call him and see if he'll bid on our program. B2B sales doesn't work that way. If you're out there hustling, selling baseball cards, or you're hustling by going to garage sales and buying people's junk, cleaning it up and selling it for a profit, good for you. Work 12 hours a day and focus on those transactions. Those of you who are in B2B sales, you can watch Gary Vee's stuff and you can take some of his lifestyle advice to heart, because it's good advice. And I think Gary is a smart guy, he's entertaining, but when it comes to B2B sales, our mindset has to be long-term. You gotta think strategically. So the B2B sales approach is very different than the hustle and grind, Gary Vee, shake and bake, use profanity language. I mean, can you imagine? You walk into a CEO's office and you go, hey, what's up? How's your shit? You can't. That's not the way to master B2B sales. We're professionals. We have to handle ourselves like professionals. We have to think long term. It's about relationships and not transactions. If you agree with me, give me a hey now down in the comments, and be sure and watch the next video I have popping up right now. My next video popping up, coming in right behind me, right below me right now. That video is on client lifetime value. It goes deeper into this concept. Make sure you watch that video. I will see you there.